In the quiet town of Maplewood Grove, nestled along tree-lined streets in suburban Oregon, the spring of 2020 marked a turning point for my family. My name is Lily, and this is the story of how the darkest day of my life became a beacon of hope, resilience, and justice. My newborn daughter, Ava, was just 4 days old, a tiny bundle of joy with delicate fingers and a soft tuft of dark hair. My husband, Ethan, and I were over the moon, savoring every moment with our miracle baby after years of heartbreaking miscarriages and grueling fertility treatments. We thought our cozy neighborhood, with its friendly families and blooming gardens, was the perfect place to raise her. But we didn't know a monster lived among us. Marjorie Baxter, the iron-fisted president of our homeowners association, ruled Maplewood Grove like her personal fiefdom. In her mid-50s, with piercing blue eyes and a scowl etched in her face, Marjorie was a tyrant. She patrolled the streets with a clipboard, issuing fines for minor infractions. A misplaced trash can, a slightly crooked mailbox, or kids' chalk drawings on the sidewalk. Her husband, Daniel, a soft-spoken accountant, seemed perpetually exhausted, trapped in her shadow. Marjorie despised children, calling their laughter noise pollution, and pushing to ban bikes from the streets. Most neighbors avoided her, keeping their kids indoors when she prowled. I thought we could steer clear of her wrath by following every rule to the letter. I was wrong. On a crisp April morning, I sat on our front porch, cradling Ava as she slept peacefully in my arms. The sun warmed my face, and for a moment, life felt perfect. Then I saw Marjorie storming toward me, her clipboard clutched like a weapon, her face twisted with rage. "You can't have that baby out here," she snapped, jabbing a finger at Ava. I blinked, confused. "She's not even crying. I'm just holding her." Marjorie's voice grew sharper. "HOA rules prohibit crying babies outside from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It disrupts the neighborhood's peace." I stared, incredulous. "That's not a real rule. She's my daughter, and this is my property." Her eyes narrowed, venomous. "I make the rules here. Take it inside, or I'll call the police." Shaken, I carried Ava inside, my hands trembling. Ethan was furious when I told him. "She can't enforce fake rules like that," he fumed. "It's harassment." We decided to keep the peace, focusing on our new roles as parents, but Marjorie's behavior escalated. She stalked past our house daily, glaring through our windows, leaving notes about trivial violations. Our car parked an inch off center, our porch light too bright. Each note came with a threat of fines or police action. The stress gnawed at me, amplifying the exhaustion of new motherhood. I barely slept, jumping at every creak, haunted by her relentless scrutiny. Ethan installed security cameras and started documenting her harassment, but we never imagined how far she'd go. That Saturday morning, 1 week after Ava came home, everything changed. Ava was fussy, as newborns often are, so I took her to the porch swing, hoping fresh air would soothe her. Her soft whimpers were barely audible when Marjorie charged across the street, her face a mask of fury. "I warned you," she screamed. "No crying babies." I tried to stay calm. "She's on my property, and she's not even loud." But Marjorie's voice dripped with malice. "You're ruining this neighborhood with that thing." The word "thing" cut like a knife. Before I could respond, she hissed, "I'll show you what happens when you defy me," and stormed back to her house. 5 minutes later, she returned, carrying a large cardboard box. Her movements were deliberate, chilling. "What are you doing?" I asked, clutching Ava tighter. "Fixing a problem," she said coldly. In a heartbeat, she ripped Ava from my arms. My baby's cries pierced the air as Marjorie shoved her into the box, sealing the flaps. "Give her back," I screamed, lunging forward, but Marjorie pushed me hard, nearly knocking me down the steps. "You'll learn to respect my rules," she snarled, then marched toward the creek behind our house, the box in her arms. I chased her, sobbing, begging. "Please, she's just a baby." The creek was shallow but swift, its icy waters deadly for an infant. Marjorie's eyes were empty as she said, "Maybe now you'll listen." Then, to my horror, she hurled the box into the rushing water. Ava's muffled cries echoed as the current swept her away. Without a second thought, I dove in. The cold shocked my body, the current pulling at my limbs, but all I could think of was Ava. The box was disintegrating, water seeping through. I swam harder, my lungs burning, hearing Marjorie's laughter behind may a sound that still haunts my nightmares. I reached the box just as it began to sink, tearing it open to pull Ava out. She was soaking, her tiny body shivering, her lips blue. I held her close, fighting the current to reach the shore. Exhausted, I dragged us out, collapsing on the bank. Ava's weak whimpers terrified me. I ran home, screaming for Ethan. He called 911, his face pale with rage and fear as he saw Ava's condition. Paramedics arrived in minutes, wrapping her in warming blankets and rushing her to the hospital. I told them everything, my voice shaking. The HOA president threw my baby in the creek, I said. The paramedic's eyes widened. Attempted murder, he radioed to the police. At the hospital, doctors fought to stabilize Ava's hypothermia. Her temperature dropped dangerously low. Carter explained. She's lucky you got to her in time. I sat by her warming bed, holding her tiny hand, guilt and rage tearing at me. Ethan paced, vowing to make Marjorie pay. The police arrived, taking our statements and photos of Ava's condition. This is one of the worst cases I've seen, Detective Larson said. She'll face attempted murder charges. But when they went to arrest Marjorie, she was gone, having fled the moment she realized her plan had failed. Daniel, her husband, was devastated. I knew she was controlling, but this, he told police, granting them access to their home. They found Marjorie's computer, filled with files on every neighbor, including photos of children and hateful notes about disruptive families. Her journal was the most damning, detailing her plan to eliminate the baby problem with chilling precision. Saturday will end the crying once and for all, she wrote the night before. An arrest warrant was issued, her face plastered across every news outlet. 3 days later, police found Marjorie hiding in a rundown motel 2 hours away. She screamed as they cuffed her, claiming Ava deserved it for ruining her perfect neighborhood. Her outburst, caught on body cam, sealed her fate. Back at the hospital, Ava slowly recovered, but the trauma lingered. She cried more easily, startling at sudden noises. A child psychologist, Dr. Ellis, helped us soothe her, teaching us techniques to rebuild her sense of safety. Our neighbors rallied around us, bringing food, flowers, and support. The attack unified Maplewood Grove, exposing Marjorie's years of bullying. Families shared stories of her threats, ashamed they hadn't acted sooner. Marjorie's trial, 3 months later, gripped the nation. HOA president attempts to drown infant dominated headlines. In court, she looked broken, her once imposing presence reduced to a gaunt, gray figure. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence. Her journal, security footage, neighbor testimonies, and Dr. Carter's account of Ava's near-death experience. I testified, reliving the horror, my voice steady despite the tears. She planned to kill my baby, I said, as jurors wept. Marjorie's defense claimed mental illness, but her calculated journal entries and flight from justice destroyed that argument. On day 3, she snapped, screaming in court, that baby was ruining everything. Her lack of remorse stunned the room. The jury deliberated for just 2 hours, finding her guilty of attempted murder, child endangerment, assault, and kidnapping. At her sentencing, I faced her one last time. You tried to take my daughter's life over a petty grudge, I said. But Ava is thriving, and you've lost everything. Marjorie stared at the floor, silent. The judge sentenced her to life without parole. As she was led away in handcuffs, Daniel's lawyer served her divorce papers, finalizing their split. She'd lost her husband, home, and freedom in one fell swoop. We won a $2 million civil lawsuit, claiming Marjorie's assets to secure Ava's future. The neighborhood transformed under new HOA leadership, becoming a haven where kids played freely and families connected. Ava's first birthday was a joyous celebration, a testament to her resilience and our community's strength. Now, 5 years later, Ava is a vibrant 6-year-old, riding her bike and splashing in pools, unaware of the horror she survived. We'll tell her one day, but for now, she knows only love and safety. Marjorie's evil backfired. Her attempt to control us sparked a movement, inspiring laws to curb HOA abuse nationwide. Ava's survival became a symbol of hope, proving that love and justice prevail. Every night, as I tuck her in, I renew my vow to protect her. Evil tried to steal her light, but it only made us stronger. What do you think? Could Marjorie's actions ever be justified, or was she pure evil? Should HOAs have the power to control neighborhoods like this? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of resilience and justice. Where are you watching from? Let me know.